I'm Crystal. So I decided to make some village houses, and I got out my giant stack of dies, and I got out some pattern paper and some assorted chipboard, and I'm just going to put this together and cut a ton of die cuts and then put together some village houses. And a couple of years ago I did this. I made a bunch of die cuts, and I got together with my crafty friend Denise and her mother, who is also crafty, but she's not so much a paper crafter, she's a talented quilter. So Denise and her mom and me and my mom, and we made a bunch of these houses for the holidays. But that was almost 10 years ago, I think, and so the houses haven't really held up. We need some urban renewal. So I wanted to cut the die cuts so we could get together and do that again. But I'm going to cut the die cuts and I'm going to put together a house just to show you guys what these look like. So just a word about these dies. The ones that I have are the Bigz steel rule dies, and these are great. I've really enjoyed them, but they're discontinued, and they are for sale on eBay at a price I can only describe as insane. But there's been a reissue of the same set at a slightly smaller scale in the thinlits, thin steel dies, and so those are readily available. Sizzix has them on their website. You can buy them from Sizzix on Amazon for half the price as you can buy them from Sizzix on Sizzix's own website. So I don't really know why that is, but this happens often enough that you should always compare Sizzix's website to Sizzix on Amazon before shopping with them, if that's something you're interested in doing. Now, if you are going to go to eBay, there are a bunch of people who've got these steel rule dies who will cut the die cuts for you and just sell you a set of die cuts. So you don't have to commit to the dies. You can just spend, the prices I saw were anywhere from like $3 to $10 for a set of die cuts, just depending on which thing you wanted. So you can take a look at that as well if you're interested, or you can just watch me assemble the house and not buy anything. Also a choice. So I hope this is useful to somebody who's interested in making little houses, and thanks for joining me today. So let's take a look at the dies that I'm going to be using. This is a thinlit set. It's the same scale as the steel rule dies, it's just got extra trim. Then this is the winter accessories. It doesn't include the house, it just includes the snow and ice. We've got the bell tower, the extra roofs, the landscape trees, the cottage, which again does not include the house, it's just the trim pieces. So it's a window and shutter and a fence and a couple extra things like that. The surf shack, which has got a palm tree, a surfboard, a porch, and some stuff like that. Then these are the two dwellings. This is the brownstone, which is the taller one, like a townhouse. And then this is the basic dwelling. So the thinlit set comes with all of the construction pieces. So it's got both of these buildings as well as the addition, which I don't have. And it's got all of these extra like shutters and windows and doors and trim and everything. But it doesn't have any of the little add-ons like the palm tree or the surfboard. So I think it's a good value for money, because these dies originally were like $40 a piece or more. Like these were like $55. And of course on eBay now they're just, the price is just insanity. So I'm going to put these together now. It is really important that you do all of your inking at this point while the pieces are flat. You're not going to be able to decorate very effectively once we assemble the building. So you want to do all your inking. You want to go ahead and attach all the bits. So here I'm attaching the window frames onto the dwelling while everything is flat and it's easy to get to all these pieces. It is not effective to try to do this once the walls of this dwelling are vertical. Really, really not going to have a good time. So you can use liquid glue at this stage. Once the building is to the assembly stage, hot glue is really effective, and it is so hot here right now. I just could not plug in a hot glue gun. If you don't want to use hot glue, either because it's hot, because you don't like hot glue for whatever reason, the other choice for assembly is probably strong double-sided tape, like score tape or red line tape, and so that's what I'm going to use today. But while you're decorating, you can go ahead and use liquid glue. Now here, where I'm attaching window glass to the inside of my windows, the window glass is plastic, and plastic does not adhere very well to PVA glue, school glue, so I am going to use score tape for the window glass as well. But not for structural reasons, just because the window glass is plastic. So because the dwelling is not attached to anything at the bottom, you can put a little tea light on the inside, and so it looks like the house is lit up. It's really cute. I don't have any tea lights at the moment, or I would light this one up to show you how good it looks. But that's what makes it so nice for holiday display. So you put that double-sided tape on every tab. Very straightforward. The tabs are easy to see. Then you're going to score. I'm just lining this up against the edge of the table to score it. And then once you do that, assembling the building is really easy. You're just going to pull the tape on those two tabs. You want to have the building standing up while you attach, because you want the pieces to be level with one another. And then you pull the tape off the other tab and attach the other side of the building. And then the building is basically done. The only other thing we're going to do from that point is attach the roof. So the roof, you want to make really, really sure the first side gets square when you put it on, because if you don't get the first side square, you can't get it right after that. So you're going to attach from the back, which is the straight side. The notch side goes behind the dormer. And so you want to put the straight side on the back of the house. You're going to pull off those two side pieces. And I put a little bit of liquid glue over my score tape just so I'd have just a second of wiggle room. And then once you attach those two side tabs, you can push the inside tab from the inside of the building. Then once your back side is on square, then it's much easier to get the front of the building on square. So I'm pushing the tab on the inside to stick, and then on the front I'm less concerned, so I don't need the liquid glue to have a little bit of wiggle room. I straightened out my dormer a little bit so I can get that notch over it. Pull off the tape on the sides. You don't need to pull the tape on the very front at this point. If you don't want to, you can. I think there's a little bit of danger that you will actually snag your roof on that dormer at this point. But you just pull off those 4 tabs, stick the notch behind the dormer, attach it on the 2 sides at the peaks. You can look at the side to make sure you're getting that square on the building, and then reach inside to push the 2 tabs on the inside. And the dormer is what goes on these last 2 tabs on the front. And I always struggled with that because it looks backwards to me, but the straight part of that goes forward, and the slanted part of that goes towards the roof. So you pull the tape on these 2 tabs, and then you're going to just put the dormer down and push it against the roof to attach it to those 2 tabs, and that is pretty much it. Everything from there is decorative. You can add your porch or your post or what have you, and here we have the finished house. So I've got these little pots that I made from air dry clay. There's the base that I cut, and I'm just turning the building so you can see it from every side, using that brick pattern paper to make it look like a a brick house. But of course you could ink up your dwelling instead of using brick pattern paper. And it just makes a cute little house. And it's not attached to that base in any way, so you can just pick it up and put your tea light under there. So it's easy to do. So I hope this is helpful to somebody, and I thank you for joining me today.